In our last class, we have seen that how we can solve this problem. The problem was that given publishing company, we had to create two classes, and from those two classes, okay, we have derived we had a main class, and from that main class we had derived two classes, book, and we added another class that is called tape. So we had a publication class, and we inherited the publication class to make a book class and tape class. And from these two classes we added get data function for all of the classes. We added display function to put the data, and so on. So this was the last example that we did. Here, as you can see clearly from the question, and they have mentioned that you have to write a program to test the book and the tape class by creating instances of them. That means you have to declare objects. So creating an instances mean declaring the objects, asking user to fill in the get data. So call the get data function for both of the objects, and displaying the data with the put data. So the main three things: you have to create the objects of book class and tape class, you have to create instances, okay, and you have to call the get data function and the put data function. So this is already what we did in our last class. Let me open the file. Yeah, yes, I got it. So let me share the screen. So this is the example that we did. We started with, to solve the problem, we started with the class, publication class, which had two variables, a string title and float price. And those of you don't remember why we arranged this way, you can go and see the explanation. I have uploaded the code as well. After that, we have called the get data function that declares two variable and takes input. So enter the publication, user enters the publication, enter the price of the publication, user enters the price, and then we save this two to the private variable title and price. After that, in the put data function, we just print this two. So this was the basic publication function class. And after that, we had a book class that extended or inherited the publication. So we added one more variable, that is page count. So here what we saw, that what we can do, we can call the from the book class, we can call the parent class the get data function. So what we did, instead of writing the code here, we call the parents class get data function. So what happened, after we call the get data function, first it goes to the parent and takes input the publication and the price, and after taking input the publication and the price, it takes the page count. So that's how it takes input. So basically it takes three input. And same goes for the put data. It prints the, first it prints the publication title and price, and then it prints the book count. So same, another class, another input to get data, another put data. Then we have the tape class where we did the same, just it's a different, the playing time, and it's a and we also printed the output. So that was the example that we did, and after running the code, you'll see. So if we enter the title of the publication, let's assume A, price is 100 and page is 10, then we have to enter the title of the publication again. So this is for the second case, that is again t dot get data. So let's assume it's B, 200, playing time is 20. So you see all the informations are getting printed, the information that I have inserted. So this was our first. Okay, now in the second case, what they're asking us to do, okay, in the second example, in the third actually, that start with the publication book and the tape class of exercise 1. That means we'll again start with the same example. So the publication class, book class, and the tape classes. Add a base class, sales. So we will add new class that is called sales, that holds an array of 3 floats. Okay, now first thing is we have to add a new class that we understand, and it will contain an array of 3 floats, so it can record the dollar sales of a particular publication for the last 3 months. So it will store the information of the selling for last 3 months. We will include a get data function to get the 3 sales amount from the user. We'll add a put data function to display the sale figure. So again, we have a get data and put data. Alter the book and tape classes so they derive from the both publication. So we will alter the book and tape classes. Okay, and finally an object of the class of book or tape should input and output sales data along with other data. So now there is one more thing here, that whenever we're creating a class book or tape, okay, it will automatically input and output sales data with other user data. Now, after reading the question, okay, we have read the question, so we have clearly got one thing, that you need to create another sales class. Okay, but it's not clear what will be the relationship, because they have told us, if you look closely, that add a base class sales that holds an array of three floats so that it can record dollar sales of particular publication of last 3 months. Okay, so I will create a sales class and I will create declare three variables. Those variables will be array, that I understand. But and it will have a get data and the put data function. But what will be inside those get data and put data, it's still not specifically clear. So let me show you the solution, then we can discuss that how you should interpret this. So this is our x3. Okay, so we have the same publication class, no change. Okay, we have the put data function, no change. Then we have this uh, sales class, you see, class sales with three floats, s1, s2 and s3. Okay, where what we can do, we can get the data information for enter month 1 sale, enter month 2 sale, enter month 3 sale. So where is storing the information of 3 months sale, and then we can print those. Okay, now what is the difference? If you look closely, up to this is very simple. They have asked us to declare the previous classes, so we did. Okay, so start with the publication book and the tape classes, so those are already here. Add a new base class called sales. So we also already added a new class sales with three variables, s1, s2 and s3. Now the first difference is here. The class book previously that was being only inherited from publication is also now inherits from sales. So in our last class, if you remember, I have shown you one example. Okay, that is a class D inheriting class B and C. Okay, so one class inheriting from two classes. So here class book is inheriting two classes. So this one was already there in our previous example. If I go back, you see this was already here, class book inheriting public function. But this one, this part is actually new. So how do you understand that we have to add this? Okay, that is the challenge. So I will come back to that. Let's try to focus rest of the part. So integer page count, same as before, get data function. But one thing you see in the get data function, now we are calling the sales.get data. That means we have to enter the sales information as well. And same goes for the put data function. Okay, we are calling the sales.put data. Same goes for the tape class. In the tape class, we are doing the same. We are adding the public sales. We are using sales.get data and sales.put data. So now let's go back and see that how should I understand that this should be included. Okay, the program looks simple. Okay, not much change, but how did I understand that I have to add this? Now if we go back to the code, you'll see in this one there's a hint that you need to do it. So let's try to find that hint. So first they have talked about as a basic sales that holds an array of three floors, it can record the sales of particular publication for the last 3 months. Include a get data function to get three sales from the user. Put data function to display the sales figure. Okay, that is still not clear. Altered the book and tape classes, so they are derived from both publication and sales. You see this line I'm highlighting. Let me repeat again. They have told us, okay, just a minute. So this is the line that I've highlighted is actually tells us that exactly specifically that I'll alter the book and tape classes. So they are derived from both publication and sales. And that's exactly what we did, right? We just altered our book classes and made it inherit from the publication and sales class. And as they're inherited from publication and sales, we can just call these two functions. Now let's run the program and let's see what information I need to add here. So enter the title of the publication, let's say A, enter the price is publication 100, enter month 1 sale 10, month 2 sale 20, 30. Okay, enter book page count, let's assume 100 as well. Now it's for the second case, let's B, title of the price is 200, month 1 sale, let's again give it let's double 20, 40, 60, and enter playing time, let's give it 200. Now you see what it does, it after taking all these informations, okay, that I have entered, it actually prints them. So this is my output part. I should have given a ENDL to separate the input and output. But you see, first it will print the publication title, it will then print the publication price, and then it will print this 3 month 1 sale, month 2 sale that I have given input. Then it will print book page count. Okay, and after that it will print the again the publication, the second data, and so on. So it's just printing the information. Now taking input is not a problem. Okay, this is, we understand how to take input, how to print the output. So what is the catch here, or what is the importance thing here? So whenever we were applying the classes, we have told that we use class inheritance when we have a easy relationship between the two data. But as you can see, there's no relationship between public sales and public tape, such as easy relationship. Okay, tape is not a sales. Okay, or you can say tape, selling tape is a sales. Okay, but the thing is that initially you will not get any clear idea that I should use this sales class. The only reason we did was this, that they have specifically told us to. But let's assume in a program I didn't told you to. Okay, then how can you understand whether you should inherit here the public sales class? By seeing the code. You see, after, if we didn't use this public sales, what we had to do, let's assume that we didn't do this. Okay, for the book class we didn't do this. Let's ignore this. Okay, so we didn't call this and we didn't call this. Then in that case, if we wanted to store the informations for the book class, the selling informations, we had to create another object of sales class. Okay, let's assume sales B, sales S. Okay, then for that we had to call s dot um, get data, s dot put data, and so on. So this was the problem number one. We had to write all this on our own. Problem number two is that the informations that we have are now connected. Okay, the informations are connected, these two cell and information are connected with the book object. Okay, but if we didn't write in this way, the information will be separated. It's almost like in a C program. Okay, I have asked you to write a program that will take input user's name and users, let's assume that in one array you stored the numbers of the user, in another array you stored the name. So what will happen, that for one user the information will be distributed into two different classes. Okay, then that's actually not good. So here, number one, okay, let me go back. What we did, we implemented this problem and we shown us how to use multiple inheritance. Okay, so this is an example of multiple inheritance, and we can see the advantage of multiple inheritance, that our programs becomes much more easier. Okay, we can include two objects into one object. So it's small, it's almost like that publication was an object, sales was, sorry, publication was a class, sales was a class. Okay, we taken these two classes and added them to the book class. So now book class is the combination of publication, combination of sales, and then they have some more. So you see the advantage. Instead of book, it might have been a car. So I could take the features of one car, car one, I can took the features of car two, and then we can create a new car with adding some more. It can be like a project that you have seen an existing student management system. Okay, then what you will do, you will take the student management one, you will take the student management two, those two projects, and you'll combine into a new project. That's it. So that is the advantage. Now let's see another code. This is code number 4. So assume the publisher in exercise 1 and 3 decides to add a third way to distribute the books on computer disk. Okay, so far there was only two ways. Now there's a number 3. For those who like to do the reading on the laptop, okay, we will create another way to distribute the books. Now we have, what we have to do, we have to add a disk class. So we have to create a new class like book and tape, and it will be derived from publication. So far so good. The disk class should be incorporate the same number of functions as the other classes. So this line means you will have the put data function, you'll have the get data function. Okay, so sometimes you will not be specifically told, but you'll be given a line like this: the disk class should incorporate the same member functions as the other classes. So I think it's clear now. Data item unique to this class is the disk type. Okay, so the unique data item or the data member is that you have to use the disk type, either CD or DVD, and you can use an enum type to store this item. So this is a like, think about storing a string. Okay, so you'll either store CD or DVD. Okay, we'll talk about enum more, but for now let's assume that it's a string that will store whether the this type is CD or DVD. Okay, the user should select the appropriate type by typing C. So if the user types C, it will say there's a CD. If the user types D, it will say it's a DVD. Okay, so just the way what we did, let me go back to the example. In this one, whenever we're storing informations, okay, let me run the program. So we first entered the book publication. So let's assume publication is A. Then we entered the price of 100. Then, oh, my bad. So let's A. Okay, just a minute. Yeah, 100, and then we enter the informations like 20, 30. Okay, then this enter page count, this is a, this one is actually specific to the book class. Okay, now what we will do, instead of giving the page count for the disk class, we'll either type C or D. So if we type C, it will say it says CD. If we type D, it will say it is DVD. So let's see this how this program works. So again, we have this publication class. We have this almost same thing. We didn't change anything. We have the sales class, again the same. We didn't change anything. We have 3 floating points, variables, and then we have the book class, no change. We have the step class, no change. Now we have added a new class, public class disk, which comes from publication. So here we have a new type of data that is called, we call enum. Okay, so it's a call, either it can be CD or DVD. Okay, so as we have given two options, it's written like this. If there's a third option, it will be written like let's say there's a third option. Okay, so this third option is a video. Okay, it will be written like this. So it's enum and the options you have, and then we have the user choice. So if the user choice is C, it will be CD. If the user choice is D, it will be DVD. So now let's see how we work with the input function. So again, it will call the get data function from the publication class. It's not mentioned whether we should include the cells or not, so we are not mentioning it here. Then if the user types C, okay, it will, user choice will be CD. So that means this user choice will be CD. If he types D, the user choice will be DVD. That's it. Now if I ask you to add one more info, another option, you can just add a else if. So I will show you an example that where you have to practice the enum type, and then you have the put data function. Okay, so if the user have chosen CD, it will print CD. If not, it will print DVD, and the rest is same. Okay, so let me run the program. So title of the publication. Okay, so let's assume that publication is A. Price of the publication is 100. CD or DVD. So let's press C. Okay, so you see it's giving CD. So that's all about this program.